Hi everybody, Steve here at Rose Hill Cemetery in Whittier, California. And I'm back to visit the gravesite of Billy Laughlin. He played Froggy on the Our Gang series.
And this is where I'm starting my video tour of the final resting places of the cast members of the classic Our Gang and Little Rascals series. Thanks for joining me on another trip to visit the most memorable cemeteries, memorials, and gravesites.
When I started my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, the gravesite of Billy Laughlin was one of the very first that I visited. And the reason is that my brother is buried here in Rose Hills, not very far from Billy Laughlin's gravesite. In fact, gate 17, you can probably see it there. You take that just up the hill a ways past the chapel, and that's where my brother is buried. And then right here is where Billy Laughlin is buried.
So while I was visiting my brother's gravesite, I thought I would just check to see if anyone notable or famous was buried anywhere nearby. And that's when I discovered Froggy's gravesite. Back in the 1960s, my brothers and I would watch Our Gang and Little Rascals reruns on TV every day after school. Finding one of them buried right here, not far from my brother, got me wondering where the others were buried, and that's how I discovered that quite a few of them are buried right here in Southern California, where I live.
So I thought it was about time that I put them all together. I know a few of you have been asking me to do this for a while now, so I'm going to put them all together and show you my visits to the cemeteries and gravesites of the Our Gang cast members that I've been able to find here in Southern California over the past couple of years. He's buried right here on the hillside. I think it's around 7 or 8 rows up from the street here. And technically he's at gate 14, which is right there, but they've got it closed and you have to come in through gate 17. There's a guard there at the gate, and then you just make the first left, take the street right here, park, and then just walk up the hill. It's very easy to find. And I'll add a GPS. I noticed that there is a GPS already added, but whoever added it wasn't even close to his gravesite. They added it for Rose Hills, but Rose Hills is enormous, and so the GPS is nowhere near Billy's gravesite. It's about a mile away. It's way over there where you see that high-rise building. That's where they have the GPS. So I'm going to change it.
Billy Laughlin was one of the more memorable Our Gang characters because of his very funny, frog-like voice. He was born July 5th, 1932 in San Gabriel, California, and died August 31st, 1948 in La Puente, California, and both of these cities are located just a short distance from the cemetery. Laughlin was tragically hit and killed by a truck while delivering newspapers on his motor scooter. He was only 16 years old at the time. He appeared in Our Gang shorts from 1940 to 1944.
Now, according to the Our Gang Little Rascals Wikipedia page, there were more than 40 child actors who played the different roles and characters over the years in both the Our Gang series and later when it was renamed Little Rascals. I've only been able to find a dozen here in Southern California, so I'm going to invite you to share with me any photos or videos that you've taken at Our Gang gravesites anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. I'm not really sure where they're all buried, other than the ones that I've already visited. You know, if you can find others that I haven't found yet, like to send me, I'll put my link down below. So if I receive enough photos and videos from you in the coming weeks or months, then I'll do a part 2 of this video.
Rose Hill Cemetery is made up of many different sections and is divided right down the middle by Workman Mill Road. Across the street from Billy Laughlin's gravesite, just to the west of Workman Mill Road, is gate 11. In the lilac lawn section is the Mausoleum of the Valley, and right in front of this outdoor mausoleum, just to the right in the lawn section, is the final resting place of actor Bobby Beard, who played Cotton between 1932 and 1934. Bobby's older brother Matthew Beard played the very popular character Stymie on the series. Bobby was born August 2nd, 1930 in Los Angeles and died October 16th, 1999 at the age of 69, also in Los Angeles. No cause of death is listed either on his Wikipedia page or his Find a Grave Memorial page. What I've noticed over the last couple of years is that quite a few of the Our Gang and Little Rascals actors are buried in the same cemeteries, so it's a little strange that Bobby Beard and his brother Matthew Beard are not buried in the same cemetery. So I'm going to head to the cemetery where Matthew Beard is laid to rest next. Evergreen Cemetery is located in East Los Angeles, up on a hill overlooking downtown LA. And this is where Matthew Beard, who played Stymie, is buried. To find his gravesite, you enter through the front gates and drive straight ahead until you get to the very back of the cemetery.
It took me quite a long time, but I finally found Stymie's grave right here. Now, Stymie was the character name on the Little Rascals. His real name was Matthew Beard Jr. You can see his gravesite there. In this cemetery, this is the first time I've seen it where they have headstones that have, like 4 names or 4 spaces like this. It's very common here, at least in this section toward the back fence. They do look like actual burial sites. So maybe they're stacked. Maybe there's 2 next to each other and then they're stacked. I'm not really sure. If anyone knows, let me know.
Beard was born January 1st, 1925 in Los Angeles and died January 8th, 1981 in Los Angeles at the age of 56 from pneumonia. He played the character Stymie from 1930 to 1935.
Like so many other child actors,
Matthew reportedly had drug problems off and on through much of his adult life, but toward the end of his life, he did make a comeback and appeared on shows such as Good Times and Sanford and Son. But he'll probably always best be remembered for his 1930s character, Stymie.
Stymie's trademark was the oversized derby hat, and I read that the hat was given to him by Stan Laurel, of Laurel and Hardy. And I also read that he was buried with the hat.
Scotty Beckett was another very popular child actor who appeared in Our Gang shorts from 1934 to 1935. He usually played Spanky's sidekick, and his trademark was an oversized sweater and a crooked baseball cap. Beckett's final resting place is located in the San Fernando Mission Cemetery in Mission Hills, California. Beckett was born on October 4th, 1929 in Oakland, California, and died May 10th, 1968 in Los Angeles, California. He was only 38 years old, and the media reported that he had died from a drug or alcohol overdose, but no official cause of death was released. During his acting career, he appeared in more than 75 movies and more than 20 short films, making him one of the most successful Our Gang and Little Rascals alumni. But sadly, like so many of his fellow actors, he died way too young. His gravesite is pretty easy to find, since his Find a Grave memorial page does have a GPS. Now I'm going to head to the coast and to the city of Santa Monica. 2 of the earliest Our Gang child actors are buried here at Woodlawn Cemetery. They appeared in a couple of silent Our Gang shorts in the early 1920s.
I'm here once again at Woodlawn Cemetery in Santa Monica, California, not far from the beach. And I'm here today to visit the gravesite of 2 brothers who died at the young age of 19 years old on New Year's Day in 1934. Los Angeles had a massive flood on that day, and 40 people were killed. 40 people drowned, including the 2 brothers. Now, these 2 brothers were actors who were 2 of the earliest members of the Our Gang series.
Winston and Weston Doty were born on February 18, 1914 in Malta, Ohio, and died January 1st, 1934 in Montrose, California. Montrose is a suburb of Los Angeles. The cemetery is small, and their Find a Grave memorial page does have a GPS, so their grave sites are easy to find. Now I'm going to head a little bit further south to the city of Inglewood, which is another suburb of Los Angeles. 2 more Our Gang actors are buried at the Inglewood Park Cemetery. But before I head on, I wanted to pan around so you could get a better idea of where the Doty twin grave sites are located. Like the Doty twins, Ernie Morrison, whose stage name was Sunshine Sammy, was one of the very first Our Gang cast members. He appeared on the series from 1921 to 1924. In addition to the Our Gang series, Sunshine Sammy also had a very successful vaudeville career, and later went on to appear in many of the East Side Kids movies. When the movie series came to an end, he was offered a contract to appear in the Bowery Boys movies, but turned it down and retired from show business. Morrison was born December 20th, 1912, in New Orleans, Louisiana, and died July 24th, 1989, in Linwood, California, at the age of 76 from cancer. His final resting place is located just inside the front gates to the left, on the left-hand side, in the Capistrano Gardens section. And while Sunshine Sammy was one of the very first Our Gang cast members, William Thomas, who played Buckwheat, was one of the most popular. And he's also buried in this cemetery. To find his gravesite, you enter through the front gates and go straight back, heading toward the back gate, but a little bit more than halfway there, you'll make a left-hand turn and go up a hill to his gravesite. His gravesite is located in the Acacia Slopes section, and his Find a Grave memorial page has a GPS, which makes it easy to find. Thomas was born March 12, 1931 in Los Angeles, and died October 10, 1980, also in Los Angeles, at the age of 49 from a heart attack. His character was one of the longest running, from 1934 to 1944. As an adult, he continued to work in show business, only behind the camera. In the 1980s, comedian Eddie Murphy's spoof of Buckwheat on Saturday Night Live helped put Murphy on the map. It also introduced the Buckwheat character to a whole new generation of fans. Now I'm going to head an hour or two east to Riverside, California. Two more former Our Gang actors are buried here at the Riverside National Cemetery. Peggy Cartwright was a child star of the silent movies and appeared in movies like The Birth of a Nation in 1915 and Intolerance in 1916. She also appeared in the first 4 or 5 Our Gang short films. To locate her gravesite, you enter through the front gates and go straight back until you reach section 32 on the left. I'll pan around here so you can get an idea of what the section looks like and where it's located. Cartwright was born November 14, 1912 in Vancouver, Canada, and died June 13, 2001 in Victoria, Canada at the age of 88. She was married to William Walker, and you can see they're buried here together, and he appeared in nearly 100 movies, many of them Hollywood classics. I'm curious, how many of you have seen any of the Our Gang shorts from the silent movie period? It's really hard to believe that the series first aired in 1922. That's nearly 100 years ago, and fans are still watching it today. Talk about a classic. Thomas Ross Bond Sr. played the role of Tommy from 1932 to 1934, and then left the series for a couple of years. He returned to the series from 1936 to 1938 and adopted the nickname Butch. Even though Butch was the bully in the group, his character became one of the most popular. Bond went on to appear in nearly 75 movies with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. He was even the very first Jimmy Olsen in the 1948 film serial Superman. Bond was born September 16, 1926 in Dallas, Texas, and died September 24, 2005 in Northridge, California from heart disease at the age of 79. To find his final resting place, you enter through the front gates and make the very first right, and then head to section 49B. His Find a Grave memorial page includes a GPS, making it easy to find. Not that far away, at Crestlawn Memorial Park, also in Riverside, is the final resting place of Darwood K., whose real name was Darwood Kenneth Smith, but fans will remember him as Waldo, the rich kid on Our Gang from 1937 to 1940. It's so windy. I'm standing here behind this cypress bush, trying to block out some of the wind, so hopefully you can hear me. Who remembers Waldo? Any fans of Waldo? I just added a GPS to his Find a Grave memorial page, just to make it a little bit easier for you to find. It wasn't that difficult. It's a pretty small cemetery. I'll turn around here. You can see behind me. That's the entrance right there. The office is right there. And this is called the Garden of Devotion. Streets, the curbs are marked pretty well. But you just come all the way up until you see these hills here. And you see these really big cypress. Look at this. So let's walk over and I'll show you his gravesite. I also added a GPS to make it easier for you if you plan to visit in person.
So sadly, Darwood, or Darwood K, or Darwood Smith, was run over and killed while walking on the street by a hit-and-run driver. And I walk every morning in my neighborhood, and I'm always watching out because people really quite often are distracted, especially now with phones and texting and everything. My great-grandfather, who I mentioned in a recent video, I don't think I mentioned how he died. He was actually, I think he was, gosh, now I forget how old he was. He was in his 70s, maybe 80s, walking in the neighborhood. He was retired. He was just out for his morning walk, and someone just backed up out of their driveway really fast and ran over him and killed him while he was out for his walk.
Smith was born September 8, 1929 in Fort Collins, Colorado, and died May 15, 2012 in Riverside, California, at the age of 72. Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney were two of the most popular screen couples of all time, and Darla and Alfalfa weren't far behind in popularity. So it's kind of fun to see that all four of them are buried here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. To locate her crypt, you enter through the front gate, make the second right, and straight ahead you'll see the Abbey of the Psalms mausoleum. Her crypt is located in the Sanctuary of Light corridor. Hood was born on November 8, 1931 in Leedy, Oklahoma, and died June 13, 1979 in North Hollywood at the age of 47. She died unexpectedly from heart failure following an appendectomy procedure. Darla appeared in Little Rascals shorts from 1935 to 1941. And as you can see, her crypt is located very high up on the very top row. To find Alfalfa's gravesite, you enter through the front gates and at the second street make a left. And his gravesite is not far from the curb on the left-hand side. Darla, Alfalfa, and Spanky were arguably the most popular characters throughout the entire series. Carl Switzer played Alfalfa in the 1930s, and sadly was shot and killed during a dispute over less than $50. He was only 31 years old at the time. He appeared in more than 75 short films and feature films and TV shows during his short career, but he'll always best be remembered for his iconic role as Alfalfa. Switzer was born August 7, 1927 in Paris, Illinois, and died January 21, 1959 in Mission Hills, California. I happened to be in the cemetery again the other day, and I was going to stop by his gravesite, but there was this tour taking place at the time. I'm guessing that his gravesite is still one of the most visited here in the cemetery. George McFarlane played Spanky in the 1930s and 40s, and like Alfalfa, was a very popular character. McFarlane was born October 2, 1928 in Dallas, Texas, and died June 30, 1993 in Grapevine, Texas at the age of 64. His cause of death was inconclusive, but it's believed that he died from a heart attack. He was cremated, and according to his Find a Grave memorial page, he has no final resting place to visit at this time. But he does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, not far from Darla and Alfalfa at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And as far as I can tell, he's the only Our Gang or Little Rascals star who's been honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. While editing this video and researching some of the actors, I discovered a handful of others buried right here in California. So I'll include my visits to their grave sites, along with any photos or videos that you send me to Our Gang and Little Rascals grave sites, in part 2 of this vlog.
So did you also grow up watching Our Gang and Little Rascals reruns on TV? If you're a baby boomer, you probably did. Who's your favorite Our Gang or Little Rascals character? So if you like this video today, you might also like these videos here. And if you'd like to be notified when I upload videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. So until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everyone.